Welcome back. It is 9:19. The FDA's approval of the Pfizer COVID vaccine immediately resulted in cities, states, and local governments calling for vaccine mandates. Many private companies are now coming forward, or they're expected to come forward soon and do the same. But legally, does this change the game in any way when it comes to an individual's rights? Joining us to discuss is attorney Andrew Stoltmann. Thank you for joining me this morning. Good to have you here. Boy, I tell you, these mandates are just coming in left and right now. We've heard it over and over again that these companies can require vaccines, but a lot of groups are challenging this, including the Chicago Police Union. And also, we're just hearing that Delta Airlines is saying they are going to start charging $200 monthly on employees who aren't getting vaccinated. The people who fight these mandates, are they going to have a choice?
No, they're not. There is crystal clear law on this, that employers absolutely can force employees to get vaccinated. Now, obviously, they can't come into their home to do it. But as a term of employment, if you want to work for an employer and your employer requires you to get a vaccine, guess what? Legally, you have to do it. And if you don't, you can be fired, period.
Okay, so let's talk about the full approval of Pfizer, because that's when the game changed, isn't it? Because now this is making it easier for companies to force these mandates, because there were many waiting for that FDA approval before they made this move, and boom, there's been an influx.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that action will give plenty of cover to many of these corporations who were concerned about getting sued. Because employers were saying, hey, look, it's not even approved by the FDA yet officially. Now it is. So it really kind of cuts out a major argument that some employees had who didn't want to get vaccinated. But more importantly, it does provide that legal cover to the employers who are forcing employees to get vaccinated.
So the question is, how hard are employers going to be working to make sure? So let's talk about the exemptions. Will they only be medical or religious? And if so, will companies investigate to make sure that whomever is using one of these exemptions as a reason isn't lying about it?
That's exactly it. The only situation where an employee cannot get the vaccine is if they have a legitimate religious or medical reason. Now, companies aren't dumb, right? They're going to require documentation. They're going to require some evidence that that is really the case, because otherwise every employee would say, gee, I have a religious exemption or a medical exemption. So these companies are pretty savvy when it comes to it. They will have to, meaning the employee will have to document that indeed there is a legitimate medical reason for not getting it.
Okay, so what about these people who get that exemption, or people who refuse to get the vaccine? Can their companies legally require regular testing 2-3 times a week?
Yes, they can require the testing. And I think that's probably going to be the solution in a lot of these cases. Employers will say, hey, look, if you don't want to get it because of your religious or medical reason, okay, but we still have to test you, because if we don't do it and other employees get the virus, then we can get sued for that. So employers are kind of in a difficult position, because, they can get sued either way. So I think they're going to be really, really careful and err on the side of caution.
Okay, let's talk about that. Has there been any legal precedent in the past to show those opposed to vaccines, for instance, even the ones that we get as children when we go to school? Has there been any legal precedent to say, hey, that these people who are against these mandates, they actually stand a chance of winning this fight in court?
No. I mean, we have case law going back to 1905 from the U.S. Supreme Court. That's still good law. That even said cities can go as far as fining people $10 a day back in 1905 who refuse to get a smallpox vaccine. So if the government can force it, guess what? Employers can too, because this isn't the first time we've had a situation like this. We have had other issues, other viruses, and employers have been able to require people to get vaccinated. The case law is rock solid on this stuff.
Okay, Andrew, let's say you have a client who comes to you and says, this isn't about religion, this isn't about medical, this is about my right as an American, as a free citizen. What legal advice do you give to that person who's trying to fight these mandates?
Don't do it. Quit your job. You can be forced to get it. And if you're going to try to create a complete silly argument that, gee, I have a medical or religious exemption. Okay, but you better have really, really good proof of that. Otherwise, go find another job.
Do you see the Supreme Court even taking up these cases then?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
The case law is so rock solid on this. I'd be shocked if the Supreme Court ends up looking at it.
Very interesting. Love your perspective, Andrew Stoltmann. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. Good to have you on.
Thank you. Anytime.
Take care.